Oh, is Asmongold feeling owned because the titties in video games are smaller? Well, then, good. I feel better because I fucking hate that guy. Oh, is Hasan getting mad that trans people can no longer participate in competition? Good. That makes me feel good. Speaking of as a goy, I want to show you another one.
Many of these.
I want to show you another take. Asmongold begs his chat to stop criticizing Israel and claims it's a distraction from Trump's amazing presidency.
These people are actual goyim, and you've been convinced that Israel is your biggest enemy, while you side with other people that want to ethnically and demographically replace you in a different way, and you think that they're on their side. That's what's happening to you, and you're being played for a fucking fool. You've been poison pilled, and do you know why? It's because you're winning. It's because you're winning astronomically. You're completely destroying every one of their designs. You have totally removed the idea of, genital mutilation for children because they've been psyoped by their parents to think that they're the opposite gender.
Yeah, this was a real thing that was happening all the time. I'm glad that it's been destroyed. Yeah. Has Twitch changed its policy that allow white supremacy now? Yes. He spent about an hour and a fucking half on you because he was salty about that tweet. Oh, Asmongold was salty? Mold Man was salty? He was mad? Yeah. Hey, I know you can't pay rent. And I know you will have to probably take on a second gig economy job from an American Silicon Valley tech firm. And you're never going to make ends meet. You're never going to have a family, but you're winning. You're winning so hard. Why? Because Donald Trump made it illegal for transgender athletes to participate in the NCAA. That's a pivotal accomplishment. You're winning super hard, dude. Okay, sure. It cost a fucking arm and a leg to keep up with your groceries and keep up with your bills, but you're winning. Why are you winning? Because we're owning the libtards. Okay? Also, it's perfectly cool and normal and valid to have to sign a document that says you will never disavow the beautiful nation state of Israel if you want to keep your job. It's good. I love signing loyalty pledges to Israel so I can be a school teacher in the state of Texas. Why would you ever say that that's strange? Excuse me? What are you, an anti-Semite?
EI has been all but destroyed. You've had all of the pride flags hanging off the White House replaced by muscle cars and fucking motorcycles. You have a UFC fight in front of the fucking White House that the president attends for his birthday.
His position is also my favorite type of guy because he's like, he has to maintain anti-Semitic conspiracies because he's like holding on to the Nick Fuentes audience. He'll be like, I'm a funnel for Nick Fuentes. But then he's both going to lean into anti-Semitism, Holocaust denial, while simultaneously talking about how Israel is wonderful and should be considered our most loyal and most reliable ally. He has arrived at the absolute worst mathematical position you can arrive at, and it's fucking awesome. Where he's like, listen, this pariah state that is melting children with American munitions and American tax dollars, that's constantly fucking crying and saying it's literally the Holocaust if they can't blow up another Lebanese village, they're perfectly good. Okay? Please. They're good. Why are you even talking about how insane this situation is? Why are you even talking about the fact that all of our politicians across the board, regardless of whether they're Democrat or Republican, doesn't really matter, talk like they got a gun pointed to their head anytime someone calls into question this loyalty oath that they've seemingly all taken to the nation state of Israel, this, emotional support apartheid state that's doing numerous genocides, right? Why would you talk about that? Well, just stop talking about Israel, please.
You have had a cultural victory that is so massive and widespread that it's caused them to cancel entire TV shows because they're afraid of the backlash. You have completely destroyed them culturally.
Yeah, TV shows are better now. They hit so much harder.
And the only thing that they can do, they know they can't beat you. They know that you're winning. They know that the Chud, the year of the Chud, is so powerful, so they're trying to poison you by fixating on something that's not them. Stay focused. Stay focused, because
there's never been a moment in my life where I have maintained this position that like TV shows are woke now, so that means it's good, and that means we're fucking winning. As a matter of fact, during peak woke, many people might not have known this about me. I routinely railed against the quote unquote SJW messaging campaigns that hyper focused on television shows. And I said that this was a byproduct of, being powerless and recognizing your powerlessness, which is why you were choosing to have some semblance of control and some way of feeling as though you have, as though there is an avenue where people are responsive. An institution is being responsive to your needs. And it was usually during, it was just Hollywood, right? And I kept explaining to people that this was silly. And a lot of people would get mad at me for that. And I was like, no, the real power comes from actual political organizing, labor militancy, being able to claw back some of your own productive output that you are responsible for, having some autonomy in the workplace, or getting your wishes across to politicians. That is real political power. All this other stuff is bullshit, meant as a distraction to make you feel like you are, actually accomplishing something. Asmongold is now doing the other side of that. It's the reverse SJW. It's the anti-woke SJWs, the injustice, the social injustice warriors, okay? From the social justice warriors to the social injustice warriors, that's precisely what Asmongold's goals are here. Do not focus on material needs. Do not focus on making demands that will change your material reality. Focus on television shows that are now anti-woke. That's idiotic.
They're not done yet. They're not done, and there are still too many of those people in the problem. And I understand you have problems with Israel. But all I'm saying is that those problems should be dealt with after these. Stay on target. They want to distract you with Israel because they don't want you to look at them.
Yeah, no. Guys, please stop focusing on Israel. Please just focus on canceling television shows instead. Just culture war. I think this is a rallying cry from individuals that understand that American politics is shifting and there's a lot more appetite for class war as opposed to culture war. That's what it is. Look at what the chatter was saying at the start, straight up Nazi. I don't know why. What is this? I don't know why it is that it's very common for Jews/Israel to be involved, but they very often are involved for immigrating the third world to destroy and infect Western and Christian culture. It's ironic because that's also, again, wrong and stupid. It is not Jews that are importing the third world or anything like that. Okay? There is no international Jewry. There is no organized monolithic Jewry. There is an organized Zionist movement, certainly, and it's not entirely comprised of Jews, ironically enough. There's a much larger number of Christian evangelical Zionists. Having said that, of course, are there pivotal figures in this movement that are Jewish? Abso-fucking-lutely. This guy's name is Klansman. Oh, my God. I like that Asmongold is trying to pull his deeply anti-Semitic audience off of this anti-Semitism cliff that they're on by saying, no, you don't understand. We get to do Nazi stuff. It's cool. Just lay off Israel, please. It's awesome. You're using big words you won't understand, man. Talk down at his level. Yeah. Okay. No group of individuals are a monolith. They don't all operate with the same fucking boundaries, with the same understanding of the world, with the same exact goals and same exact purpose. Okay. It's that simple. And Jews are no different. They're not like a super special secret lizard group of people. Okay. Any kind of idea, any kind of understanding, whether it be saying all white men are like this, or all white people are like this, or all Guatemalans are like this, is idiotic. We don't believe it. It's stupid. Okay. It's actually low IQ. It is low IQ to assume that an entire group of people operate with the same exact fucking goals, unless you're talking about self-interest and you're talking about class. Okay. And even then, obviously, the working class is not united. Nowhere near as united as the billionaire class or the owner class is. Okay. But there's an expression of self-interest. Go dumber. Okay. I don't know how else to go dumber. What am I supposed to go? How am I supposed to go dumber than that? Say it like this. No people, all same. I white, you dumb, I smart. Okay, that's good. Is that good? If I just grunt? Dumb. Ape together, strong. Ape together on class. Ape divided on culture. Do not divide on culture. Unite on class. All men are brothers. Was that better? Hopefully this gets through.
It's so.
But yeah. Asmongold begs. What is this? I made a present for Asmongold. Make sure
and
he
I know
watches
because I'm
it.
one of them.
Now, do you not get deplatformed through all this? I simply, I am a very pragmatic person. I have no problems not saying things or not doing something if I feel like it won't be advantageous for me. So I just simply don't say things that I think will get me in trouble, and until it's okay to say them. That's literally it. You're a good boy? Yeah, I like, Nick doesn't do that. Nick says exactly what he thinks, and it's respectable. It is. I don't have any negative about it.
Sometimes you gotta be the villain. Epstein's my boy, dude. Let's just be honest. Epstein was cool as fuck. There, I said it. What are you gonna do? Go ahead, cancel me.
To me, I view my role as being a more mainstream ally towards this stuff without necessarily spearheading any sort of like real controversial change, because I can't really do that.
You niggas are not ready for that conversation, but Jeff Epstein, not a pedophile, but you're not ready for that conversation. All of his victims, 14 to 17. That's not pedophilia. But y'all niggas ain't ready for that conversation. People say that's normalizing pedophilia. No, that's defining pedophilia.
It would compromise my position. That's the reason. I'm a funnel. Yeah, I kind of do that. Yeah, like a funnel in a way. So that's the reason why I do most things that I do are like, there's reasoning behind them. You have your lane for sure. Yeah, I do.
And then we got the white quarter zip, white Epstein quarter zip, causing a lot of consternation among the disabled, the dumb, the disabled, cognitively impaired. Epstein quarter zip, let them know you fuck with Epstein. Yeah, we fuck with Epstein. I like people that aren't retarded. I like people that aren't hospitalized right now. I like people that don't lie that they're not Jewish when they really are.
He also said his mom used to watch your show before she passed.
Really?
Hands emoji.
Well,
That's true.
100.
Yeah, what a nice guy. Yeah, I appreciate it, Nick. And yeah, I remember, bro, like, I remember walking in, my mom was listening to Nick, and this is like back in the day. This is like 2020, 2021, right? And so, yeah, she was in it. She was in on it on the ground floor. And
Hey, properly aged, like wine. Women don't age like wine, they age like milk. They don't age like wine. That's not how their hormones work. That's not how they work. Yeah, I gotta find my 16-year-old wife.
What do you say? Oh, it's cool, man. Well, Asmon Dad watched me. But yeah, these are the guys who are like Asmongold is not a particularly clever orator or a decent propagandist because he's just like watering down shit that he sees on his Twitter timeline, right? He's just like basically rehashing tweets that he reads off of his timeline. He doesn't actually have I mean, he has right-wing opinions, obviously, that much is clear, but he doesn't have the capacity to push for these values on his own. All he can do is just like respond to stimuli. And that's the reason why he keeps going back and forth on the Israel stuff. Like one day he'll lean into anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, and then the next day he'll be like, while I do genuinely appreciate people like Nick Fuentes for all the bold advocacy that they're doing that I agree with, at the same time, we got to stop talking about this Israel stuff, right? And it's inconsistent. And as long as he keeps hitting the, fuck Hasan line, as long as he keeps saying like, no, these wokes are actually ruining your life. Think about the culture war. Think about the culture war. As long as he hits those lines, then it's fine. Austin McNamara, also known as Gremlo, had an interesting take. Said, Zach isn't nearly as articulate as his right-wing media peers or even the lib media talking heads, but all three apply the same aesthetic-focused approach. Neither UFC cage fights or pride flags of the White House materially improved anyone's lives. We have to break free from this cycle. And it's my point as well. A lot of this stuff is not actually improving your life in a meaningful manner. It's just making you feel like you are getting some kind of change that you desired. And that change can only be reflected on by owning your ideological opposition, right? Owning the libs or owning the cons. That's all people care about because they've completely given up on advocacy for healthcare, or they've completely given up on protesting for certain things and certain things like, ending American militarism and focusing on ourselves and maybe improving our infrastructure, improving broadband, improving access to the internet, improving our schools. We've given up on all of that. We can't do anything about that because capitalism is this unchangeable system that is impossible to tackle, impossible to chip away at. So all we give a shit about is owning our interlocutors. Oh, is Asmongold feeling owned because the titties in video games are smaller? Well, then, good. I feel better because I fucking hate that guy. Oh, is Hasan getting mad that trans people can no longer participate in competition? Good. That makes me feel good. That's literally all people have. And that is a big part of what these slop tubers do in terms of breaking the brains of the youth. Like the guy that we just got, the guy that just got clapped in the chat. Like, look at this. Like, look, what did he say? Hasan Diddy Piker, your asshole must be jealous of the amount of shit that comes out of it. You mean my asshole must be jealous of my mouth with the amount of shit that comes out of my mouth, right? Like you got so horny. You got so horny to write that up in the chat that you forgot a word in there. Let me do some copy editing for you so you can do it a little bit better. So this is what I mean. And the more people are testing the boundaries of their ideology in a moment like this, when I say something like, it's not all this culture war shit doesn't actually benefit your life at all. They're just duping you into focusing on this. They're duping you into believing that as long as, you're dominating trans people or migrants or whatever the fuck, they get to rob you blind. That moment is supposed to be a wake-up call for these people, right? But instead of doing that, immediately and reflexively, a lot of people will go, oh shit, instead of testing my priors, instead of reconsidering my worldview, which is tough and scary and difficult, what am I going to do? I'm going to turn around and attack the messenger. I can't tackle the message. I can't identify with the message. Deep down inside, the message that I'm hearing, if I'm capable of understanding what you're saying, is actually kind of penetrating my priors a little bit. And I don't want to fucking live in a world where I have to reconsider my stances. So instead, I'll reflexively attack. Right? I'll push back. It's all culture war. It's all culture war. It's all, hopefully attacking the people that you feel have ruined your lives. We do it ourselves here as well to a certain degree. I try to focus my efforts back to the material, though, back to the realm of things that are actually important. Even when we talk about the culture war stuff, I'm still trying to bring home a broader point that, like, this streamer stuff, this streamer drama is simply a distraction. It's designed to keep you entertained, and it's also designed to make you feel like you're pushing for real political causes when you're not. Of course, on the right-wing side, because the right-wing forces are far more responsive to this culture war shit, they will actually advance this agenda. But at the end of the day, when they do advance this agenda, does that improve your life at all? And the unfortunate answer for you is no, it doesn't. You could deport every single migrant, throw every single undocumented and documented migrant in a concentration camp, and your life would not improve one bit. As a matter of fact, your life would be worse overall. But these guys have duped you into believing that that is your solution. That's your salvation. It's manipulation. And that's what I try to tell you all the time. That's not your salvation at all. Those guys, they lead virtually identical lives to you. The only difference is their immigration status is in limbo. They don't have the proper paperwork because the government refuses to give them the proper paperwork. Okay? Your parents were in a similar predicament at a certain point. If you live in the United States of America, the only advantage that you have, the only major difference between you and those guys that you think are your primary enemy is that they came at a time when America was much more forgiving and much more understanding because there was a need to have more working hands build these fucking roads and build these goddamn factories. So they were super open to allowing anyone and everyone to come in and process them with ease. That's what made America this behemoth. So all you're technically doing is kicking the ladder behind you after climbing it. And the irony, of course, is there's a million different ways and a million different reasons as to why these guys will tell you, these right-wing forces will tell you that these people are ruining your lives. They're not. They're not ruining your lives at all. But it's the act of punishment against them that this administration and even other previous administrations that came before the Trump administration, that act of punishment against them is what keeps you motivated. It's what makes you feel like the government is responsive to your needs. First, they create this desire within you by telling you over and over again that these guys are the migrants are the ones who are actually responsible for why you don't have a good job. As though if we deported every single migrant on U.S. soil, all of a sudden you would go fucking toil the land or pick the crops or something, and then you would actually be able to pick the crops not for pennies on the dollar, but instead for $100,000, $200,000 a year, doing backbreaking labor at that price point, at those wages. It's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. And the argument here isn't, take advantage of the slave labor of migrant workers. That's not my argument at all. You have to fight to make sure that those guys get the proper documentation and can be a part of a larger labor union and organize on the boundaries of class alongside yourselves so that they and you can get a larger piece of the fucking pie that you are baking. Okay? That's it. But that is too difficult a concept for many to broach. It's too difficult for people to understand. It's much easier to say, no, it's actually the brown guy that's the, scary brown guy that's stealing your job. Scary brown guy stealing your job. That's the reason why you don't have a good enough job. That's the reason why you went to college if you did. And now you have to, deliver Uber delivery to other people. And have no financial security whatsoever. Those guys are all criminals. And we got to destroy them. Anyway. Yeah, people always say, well, my family came here legally, but most of those people's ancestors came here before immigration law really even existed. People mostly just showed up and had their name written down until 1924, which is what the most undocumented people have done today. Immigrants are the same. It's just the goalposts that have moved. Yeah. Yeah. There's a reason for it, too. This entire process is no longer as just or as efficient by design. Because there's always a healthy flow of migrant workers that will come to the United States of America that will work for pennies on the fucking dollar to make ends meet, to work in like slave-like conditions because they're desperate. Why are they desperate? Because we've destroyed their countries. We've manipulated with their finances. We've destroyed their economy. We've extracted their natural resources. We've kept them down and underdeveloped by design to also create this chaos, to manufacture this chaos in their countries. And then they're desperate enough to come here, and we don't actually allow them to get the proper clearance and the proper paperwork, even though we know that they're coming in. We're letting them come in so that our bosses, our capital owners, can justify paying them nothing. And if they ever actually organize and demand back pay, for example, or complain about being raped on the assembly line, then those bosses will call ICE on those same workers and replace them overnight. It's a racket. That's why the system is designed that way. The only long-standing proper solution to this problem is not to try and fucking mass deport all undocumented migrants, because that's never going to happen, because this is a capitalist system anyway. And the question also always remains, would that even be beneficial for you? If this was a white-only capitalist dystopia, do you think your life would be fundamentally better? Anyone that tells you that it will be is lying to you, okay? Anyone that tells you that your problems would be solved if we deported every single black and brown person is lying to you. It's the same exact concept behind libertarians fantasizing about an anarcho-capitalist utopia or a dystopia, right? Dog, you're doing delivery driving right now. What makes you think that if all of the protections, if all the guardrails or the limited amounts of guardrails that currently exist that make sure that these factories can't continuously poison your water supply, for example, or basically enslave you at gunpoint, only come close to doing that, what makes you think those guys are not going to further enslave you when there's no guardrails let remain? What makes you think that if you are just an Uber delivery driver or an Amazon delivery driver right now, if it was chaos, if it was bedlam, that you would somehow become a king? If you're a peasant in this system, what makes you think you will be a king in that system? No, you're just going to be a peasant in an even worse set of circumstances. And we're living through it right now. We're living through that period of change right now. And some people unironically advocate for that change, not realizing that they would be worse off. And it's interesting because it's the very same gods, the demigods, the capital owning class, that are advancing this idea that, migrants are really fucking bad, actually, and you should hate them. They're destroying your lives. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. I'm just a trillionaire. I didn't actually set this system up. Don't look at me. I'm not responsible. Look over there. Look how scary that black guy is. Look how scary that brown guy is. They have the exact same interests as you. They're just fucked over more than you are. But please focus on that guy. Don't focus on me. I'm just a trillionaire. I'm creating prosperity. I'm creating jobs. That's it. Yeah, that foreigner stole your cookie. And he's rehashing the age-old anti-Islamophobia. I'm just criticizing religion nachos right here. He's reheating them. Let's see. The Islamophobic hate crime that took place in was it Edinburgh?
Because anyway, so Islamophobia is a made-up word that's used to silence.
All words are made up, big dog. That's just kind of how words work. That's what it is. Yeah. Islamophobia is a made-up word to silence critics of Muslims. Really? We're having a theological debate about Islam? I didn't realize that was what was going on. When you said, yeah, Muslims are across the board responsible for like mass rapes of white English women, and therefore I have no sympathy for a bunch of random Muslims getting stabbed by a psychopath. I didn't realize that was actually a theological debate. Why do you even try? Why do you even try to do this? Why do you even try to make it seem like you have some kind of sincere disagreement that you've put a lot of thought into, and that all you're doing in this circumstance is simply criticizing the religion? You know, are you having a conversation about the Sunni Shia split? The different versions of Shia Islam and the different versions of governance? Is that the argument? Is this the big theological debate? No. You just want to justify people killing random Muslim people or attempting to do so by constantly claiming that Muslims are scary. They're this monolithic Islam. Roach is an Alevite. Yeah, that's what he
criticism of Islam. It's not a real word. Obviously you should be able to be critical of any religion. It's not a phobia to be afraid of a
Yeah, dude. I don't agree with that. I don't disagree with that assessment. Okay. Yes, you can criticize whatever fucking religion you want to. I don't give a shit. I do it all the time. Okay. It's when you assume that the followers of a particular faith are all bad. That's what I have an issue with. That's what I have a disagreement with. And you intrinsically understand that for Jews, by the way, and you understand that for Christianity, by the way, or at least you claim to understand it for these different groups, but you can't understand it for Islam. Okay? There's a difference between criticism and prejudice or hatred. Okay? Like, we're not having a sincere conversation about the tenets of Islam, or which is, by the way, totally personal too. It's not like these guidelines are held to the same standard unconditionally across the board, across billions of people that believe this religion. I mean, I myself grew up in a Muslim household. I grew up in a Muslim country. I don't believe the same things that other neighbors of mine believe, right? I mean, I don't believe in many of the same things. So clearly it's completely up to the individual how they interpret their own faith.
religion. It's not a phobia to disagree with what a religion teaches. That's not a phobia, that's an idea, that's a disagreement. So you trying to reframe people that don't like a religion as some kind of phobia like homophobia or racism is just inaccurate. Islam is a collective.
Yeah, also, I mean, you also don't believe in homophobia and transphobia either. You'll make I've heard Asmongold and many others make the exact same argument. I'm not afraid of trans people. I just think they're fucking weird. It's not. I'm not afraid. It's just, it's the dumbest argument of all time. It's like, it reminds me of when people say like, oh, well, Semitic people, Arabs are Semitic people too. It's like, dude, that's not how language works, okay? All of this shit is made up, and we collectively identify and associate certain words with certain groups. It's just, I'm not trying to have a conversation about etymology here, okay? It is an incredibly pedantic, incredibly stupid argument to make. Oh, Islamophobia. Phobia means fear. I am not fearful of Islam. I'm just critical of Islam. Jesus Christ, dude.
Collection of ideas. Disagreeing with that collection of ideas is not in any way, shape, or form a unique thing or a problem at all. Disagreeing with ideas is what Western...
Yeah, the dumbest guy you know that delivers pizzas is looking at this and going, fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. That's base, dude. Can a Mott and Bailey be disarming? I mean, this is what it is. Yeah, Islamophobia is a made-up word, has been the #1 way that Sam Harris and all these other fucking idiots will argue to defend their idiotic worldview, their idiotic and cowardly worldview that is actively trying to foment hatred towards all Muslims, billions of them, and to get you to believe that, like, people who believe in different things than you do, that are not all that different, are actually your enemy.
Civilization is built on, and words like Islamophobia work to subvert Western civilization by making certain ideas and groups of ideas off limits. So this is just not true. It's fake.
Yeah. It's awesome. Yeah, no. The criticism, remember, the criticism I had here was, hey, it's kind of fucked up that you're justifying a hate crime that took place against random Muslim people, like tying random Muslim people to the perceived crimes that you think all Muslims are committing. That's just fucking idiotic. That's just unbelievably racist. And this guy's like, no, it's just a valid critique of Islam. Really? That's insane.